Hi, I'm Heather and I am with the Plot Genie, and today we are going to discuss how to pick an idea to write when you have a bunch of different ideas and you basically want to write them all at the same time. This happens to me constantly. I can't predict when I'm going to get that little plot bunny jumping on my chest the way a banshee might. And it can be really hard because I'm already writing multiple projects at one time. So, and I have things planned in the future too. So it can be really, really hard to figure out what's going to be best for your author career, what's going to be best for your writer, like your spirit too. So I'm hoping that this video will give you some great tips on how to pick the idea that you want to write, if you could only write one, or if you are adding one to an already busy plate. So let's jump into it. The first tip is take out a notebook and write list of possible scenes for each one of your ideas, or the ideas that you're going between. Anything that sparks your passion, anything that sparks your joy. It can be as brief as a hot sex, or it can be like, oh, she fights a demon with this special dagger, or whatever jumps out at you that you know you want to include with this concept that you have just been inspired by. When you're done, look at your lists. Which list is longer? That will tend to tell you what you already have creatively come up with in your head, and that can dictate what what your passion is already. The second tip that I have for you is, what can't you stop plotting in your head? So if you're taking a shower, or if your kid wants you to watch Paw Patrol for the 15th time, and you're in your own head, what story are you thinking about? Like, we've all been there. We're thinking about stuff while we're stirring the pasta, right? Like, we're trying to work out our story. We're driving our kids home from school. We're trying to work out that story. What is the story that's in your head? If it's one you're already working on, great. Maybe you don't need to add this to the list of stories that you are currently writing. If you are not writing one as of right now, what story are you going through? That will usually tell you if this is a good time to jump into that idea. My third tip is there a way to tie this idea into another idea? Can you combine your ideas? Whether that means having multiple point of views in a fantasy potentially, or setting it up in one book to then have its own book, like in a contemporary romance with standalone books in a series. Is there a way to tie this in so you're you're feeding the flames a little bit with this new idea, but you're not taking away from something that you're already dedicated to, whether it's because you have a pre-order, a deadline, or reader expectations? Is there a way to sort of combine it so you are fulfilling it? Fulfilling that little spiritual, like, ooh, I need to write this in order to feel good, versus writing something because you've committed to it. And those have different energies sometimes, and that's okay. And both are important in your author business. So just because you're listening to one doesn't mean you can't listen to the other. So combining them sometimes, that's helped me. I had this plot bunny of and I managed to integrate it into a story. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess I have 3 point of view characters now. And it worked because it fell into that genre. It fell into those tropes. And I was just able to seamlessly add her story into it. And it's perfect. So is there a way that you can do it? Now, number 4, take your ideas and maybe label them, maybe idea 1 or girl fights demon or whatever. Put them into a hat or type them up on a randomizing website and just pick one and then see how you react to that choice. Are you excited? Are you like, yes, I'm so excited about this? Or are you like, I didn't want this one? Your gut's going to tell you what you subconsciously wanted to write. Or even better, go ask your partner or your husband which one you should write and have him give ideas about it and like see how that goes. Because yeah, sometimes they say the most ridiculous things and you're just like, what? No. And then you start getting good ideas and that can kind of spur things off from there. And my last tip for how do you figure out what idea you want to write, ask your readers. This is so, I'm surprised people don't do this more often. Figure out what you'd be happy to write no matter what, okay? Then create a poll and let your readers decide for you. This will draw them into your story, get them excited way before the book has even started. And when you send your newsletters or your posts on social media, you can then start giving updates and that will entice them along. But when they're part of something, when they can help create something with you, it grows your community and it gets really, really excited. I actually did this a long time ago before I even separated my pen names out. I was like, okay, should I do this like contemporary romance hockey series or should I do this like sort of supernatural paranormal romance? I expected people to want more of the paranormal romance, but the majority of them wanted the hockey stuff. And it's my best-selling series for this pen name where I put out maybe 1 or 2 books a year in this series, and it is still, 1 or 2 books a year in this pen name, and it still makes me at least 4 figures a month without adding to my backlist a lot of the time. Don't be afraid to include your readers and stuff like this. In fact, it can only help you in the long road. So those are my tips. I hope that I hope it helped in some way. I would love to hear your tips on how you figure out what are you going to write. And if you have any other suggestions, comment below. Please subscribe to this channel and like the video. It helps so much. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that this helped. Have a good day. Bye.